YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back in Total War Shogun 2. Now, I think I originally said that I was going to release a Rome 2 battle today, but I couldn't help it. This one was a fun one, and I wanted to release it today, so I think you all like it. So here we are. We've got the Heir of Skynet, which was the name I was using here. That's just a joke from what you all called me whenever my microphone had the distortion. And then we've got Schrader Brow 69 here and Sasuke 009 there. Possibly a double agent, as you can see. So let's watch the replay. So this is on Gunma Field, which is a relatively flat map with some forest and a couple of key buildings. You know, when Rome 2 first came around, I really didn't miss Shogun 2 multiplayer, and I still love Rome 2 multiplayer once it was fixed, after the Emperor Edition, I should say, and there's still some things wrong with it, and unfortunately it looks like it's not going to get any more attention. And there's a few things that should be fixed about Shogun 2 as well, but the more I play around these, like the key buildings and stuff, the more I like it. And also you can tell that the multiplayer maps in Shogun 2 were a lot better designed for the type of gameplay. I don't know why they've chosen to move further and further away from spending much time on multiplayer. And some of you might be like, well, it's because they're going to make Arena. I don't know. Please prove me wrong, but it's a free-to-play game, and my expectations are at absolute zero right now. For free-to-play games, they just seem like a way for companies to try and cash in hard off of microtransactions. So I don't know. Like I said, I would love for them to prove me wrong. I haven't gotten to play the game yet, so I'm not making any final judgment about it. I just don't know. We'll see. So we've got a 2 versus 2 here. Sorry. So you can see the enemies are actually using similar mods. Seems like the music's not loud enough here. Let's go to the sound. Well, I mean, the music's turned up pretty high here. Let's turn it up a little more. Game's paused. So, all right. So this is a classic matchup. So I've got old Patchy here, in all his glory. He's always looking good in his Shogun 2 getup. I've got some Portuguese Tercos. I think a unit of Matchlock Warrior Monks. Just I think it's a vanilla unit, yeah. And so I've got 4 Naginata attendants, I think 3 sword attendants. I've got 2 Katana Samurai with decent upgrades. I've got, I think, a Fire Cav, 2 Yari Cav, a Spears of Shizugatake, which is a hero unit. These guys are pretty awesome, really good against Cav. And then I've got, so I was basically aiming to gain cavalry supremacy by bringing a Fire Cav, Spears of Shizugatake, so I was really looking for Cav supremacy. And then I've got 2 light Cav as well. They're just kind of sitting back here at the moment. Yeah, so I got a lot of meat shield units, and I really like the attendant units that came with the Rise of the Samurai, because they are great at contesting key buildings. And you can see here there's a shrine. That's a very important key building. I'm going to put it into slow-mo here and kind of show you what goes on both flanks. There's a lot of important action. So there's a Yari Cav here, 2 Yari Cav for my teammate. My teammate is the blue, and then there's a Horde of Cav out here running. So it looks like 2 Yari Cav, 2 light Cav, and a bow. Yeah, bow general, which is an odd choice. And then my teammate's army, I'll kind of try and cover it real quick. I may not do too great. He's got 2 bow warrior monks, which is very bow heavy in the late state of this game. He's got a Matchlock warrior monk as well. Looks like we've got some, let's see, I see 3 Katana Samurai, Naginata warrior monk, a Yari Sam, and another Yari Sam here, and another Nagi warrior monk. So kind of an interesting combination of infantry on the part of my teammate. Let's take a look at who he's facing off against. He's got a Matchlock monk. Behind them looks like 2 bow samurai. Line of 3 monks, 3 warrior monks. And then it looks like a backline Katana Sam, Nodachi Sam mixture. A lot of infantry and not so cav heavy. And it's the same for the guy facing off against me. He's got a couple of bows, quite a few sword infantry, a couple of spear infantry, a couple of Nagi warrior monks, or 1 or 2 Nagi warrior monks, and he's got 6 light cavalry. And then his avatar is also a bow general, which is odd. Anyway, let's kind of watch what happens. I think that the bow monks that my teammate has are going to cause, actually, so I don't normally like bringing bow monks. Like I said, in the later state of the game, it's hard to make them pay off. But because my teammate's opponent isn't retreating, he's taking massive losses to his Matchlock monks and his bow samurais. These two bow monks are going to be able to put some pretty serious hurt down on these skirmishing units. And yeah, that's how you can see. So, and I'm contesting the key building here. This was pretty stupid of me. I bring my sword attendants who were hiding behind the building for cover, thinking, hey, maybe I can get a quick charge. But I don't know what I was thinking sword attendants are going to actually make it into these guys. But whatever, I've got more meat shields. And so as you can see, I just move up the next meat shield to keep my opponent from capturing the shrine. I don't have to actually capture the shrine as long as he's not capturing it. And since my teammate didn't bring very good cavalry, which I still make a pretty big mistake here. I got a Yari cav in the back of his line and almost got caught by several other cav. I think it's like a horde of light cav over here again. I've got my spears of Shizugatake on the flank of all these swords here, and these swords will be very vulnerable. Again, the spears of Shizugatake really best suited to an anti-cav fight, but right here where my opponent's Yari samurai are coming in, I'm going to support them quickly with some rear charges from this this very elite cavalry unit. And I'm trying to help free up my teammate so that he can assist me against my opponent. And you can see that the Spears of Shizugatake going to rack up a decent number of kills. But this was stupid because I allowed them to get quickly sandwiched by Nagi warrior monks who are going to do excellent against the Spears of Shizugatake. But then that opens up his bows to my Yari cav. But again, this is a high price for me to pay with that Spears of Shizugatake. Not enough kills on that unit. And I really probably should have just kept it on the other flank and brought a Yari cav over to do this. It would have been better suited. You can see my Yari cav here is going to get a rear charge straight into these Nagi warrior monks and katana samurai. And couple that with my teammates' infantry. And his guys are bonsai'd here a little early because they weren't wavering just yet. And then my Spears of Shizugatake are going to cycle back in here again. Of course, only 9 men left, but it's 9 very capable men. And you can see that I quickly rout the flank of my teammate's opponent. And my opponent is hesitant to just flat out attack me. I'm not really sure why, because he has plenty of infantry to do so. If he tries to, I'll just pull back and let him have the shrine so that we can team up on him. But he has a very definite infantry advantage. And as you can see, I'm just letting my Nagi attendants here soak up bow fire. It's a waste of ammunition for these bow Ashigaru to fire at all these meat shield units. I've got plenty of them. So again, just using my cavalry. Here's another big melee blob, doing some Alexandrian tactics in the Sengoku Jidai. These rear charges are really killing the morale of this army, and since his general is a bow gen, his army's going to have low morale. Coupled rear charge with a war cry, very well timed by the Nagi monks of my teammate, and my teammate's come by the handle Date Masamune here, so very cool name too. So his opponent is completely gone at this point. So now I feel like I can be risky. I can kind of mess with my opponent here because my teammate's going to very quickly be all up on his flank. The cavalry of his opponent is still alive, and it's going to be back here trying to cause trouble. And I don't really notice that because, of course, I'm never paying attention to my minimap. Of course. Now my opponent moves his Yari Sam and Nagi warrior monks over here in the vicinity of my cav, not where I want to be, so I'm going to have to pull back. And I'm just going to keep moving up Nagi attendants to keep him from capturing the shrine. And over here I'm moving up my Portuguese Tercos in the woods. It'll protect them, and I'm meat shielding them with the Nagi attendant while taking shots at his Matchlock warrior monk. I feel like I can sit here and trade okay with this Matchlock monk. Won't be great, and then I'll use my Nagi attendant here to put pressure on his warrior monk. So, yep. What I don't see, though, is all this cavalry moving up on my flank, and this is what my Spears of Shizugatake would have excelled at. If I wouldn't have wasted it against that spear unit, it could probably kill all 4 of those cav units without too much trouble, I think, because they're just light cav. But yeah, anyway, my Portuguese Tercos are getting some decent shots here. Not getting a ton of kills, though, because everybody's under tree cover here. But still, we're going to do all right. Portuguese Tercos are a pretty decent unit. They're not going to take many casualties to his bows while they're in the woods like this. And I bring up a Nagi attendant again just to meat shield. So keep throwing meat shields in the way, but this is when he does bring his cav up onto my flank. And I was like, criminy. So now I got to chase off his cav units, and all I have is swords over here to do it. And I really don't like the idea of my swords taking on a couple of Yari cav and some light cav. Not ideal for me. Portuguese Tercos, though, getting some kills. Nothing fantastic. So, yeah, see, my opponent's just circling around trying to get an opening to my Tercos, and now he does. But, I mean, this is all really kind of a moot point. He's going to throw away his cav into this blob, and I'm going to be able to basically surround them now. He's going to try and get away with some of them, and he will. He's going to try and get into these Matchlock warrior monks, potentially. Oh, if these guys, yep, they strayed in range, so very bad move. So these Matchlock monks are going to kill a bunch of his cav, and it's also going to hurt their morale. Keeping my cav units just barely alive over here. I think I'm going to send them to chase after his general. And then you can see my teammates slowly moving up on the flank. So right now I'm just kind of skirmishing with my opponent. Like I said, if we get into a straight up infantry fight, he's pretty much going to win. Probably. But you know, obviously I want to make it difficult for him. Here our cavalry kind of walk into each other by mistake. So both of us kind of walked in. I've got no Dachi Samurai over here, which is not exactly a great support unit in a cav fight, but as long as they don't get charged, they'll be okay. So now I'm going to charge them in because my opponent is charging in more light cav and Nagi warrior monks. And again, if these units don't get a great charge, my Katana Samurai and my Nodachi Samurai can potentially get some kills. And then my idea is I'll just charge his Katana Samurai with another cav unit to try and interrupt it or to get it out of the fight early. And like I said, my Nodachi Samurai ought to do quite well against warrior monks, as well as my Katana Samurai are getting a lot of kills here. They've got a lot of attack because we've captured the sword dojo on the other side of the field. Now over here, my opponent's infantry is just going to crash into mine relatively successfully just because of numbers. And let's see, all I've got's a Katana Samurai here and stuff fighting against them. So I mean, I'm doing okay, and I've got matchlock support, but I am also hurting the morale of my own men. I'm keeping Patchy at a safe distance. You can see my Katana Samurai really tanking up a lot of kills over here. These Nagi warrior monks are not liking this fight. So it's actually been fairly useful for me. And see, I just disrupted his reinforcing troops here with the Yari Cap charge. He's going to bring in some Nagi monks, and those guys are going to absolutely mince my my cavalry. But again, I'm just kind of falling back, letting him try and take out my units piecemeal. So I get a very timely bonsai here, keep my Nodachi Samurai in the fight. So they're going to go even longer now and get even more kills, which is good. And then my Katana Samurai is still going strong with 100 kills here. And then again, my cavalry is just making quick charges. Here, my Nagi attendant's going to come in and slow down his troops some more so that my matchlock warrior monks can reposition and fire on the Yari Samurai. So all of this is going to work to my favor here. And you can see that my opponent, even though he had a lot more infantry than me, really wasn't able to overcome me too well with it. I think that my men probably had better morale here because I had the leader general. And then I also had the sword dojo, which played a key role. And I was playing the Fugu cook against him, which means it hurt his morale even worse. And so I've got my guys skirmishing back over here. I've got sword units free. I hear some rapid advance, so it's just chasing him down. So yeah, we were able to basically use my cavalry to effectively quickly wrap up my teammate's enemy, and then he was able to force my opponent to come into an engagement that really helped me out quite a bit. See my matchlock monks here getting a few more kills before the end of the fight. These guys are very, very cool looking. Let you see them up close. Oh man, those graphics. So pretty. This game may be like, this game's like 4 years old now, but it looks beautiful. It really does. Yeah, so it definitely one of my favorite. I think this guy's general was still alive. Yeah, he's charging around into enemy bow warrior monks. Bow warrior monks actually have pretty decent morale. They're not going to rout super easy from something like this by just being charged by a bow general. I think that's what this one is, a bow general. Yeah, and now he's dead. So here comes the last stand of our enemies. They're going to get taken out by my teammate's bodyguard and some Yari Samurai as well. So that's going to be the end of the battle. Hope y'all enjoyed this one. Fun 2v2. Man, like I said, I really like the Rome 2 multiplayer, mainly just because of the time period. I sometimes forget some of the nuances that were in the Shogun 2 multiplayer that were really nice. I wasn't a fan of having to grind out for clan tokens and all that other kind of stuff. It was fun at first. It kind of got old later on. But I guess it did create replayability, and people replayed the game a lot, trying to get those clan tokens and upgrades and stuff, which is nice. It keeps people in it. The maps were considerably better. I like how it's playing like 2 different songs at once right now too. So the maps were better. The dojos were nice because you could turn them on or off. So if you didn't like them, you could host a battle and turn them off. The other thing that was cool is if you didn't like Avatar, there was classic mode. And if they would have just added like classic matchmaking on top of everything, then that would have been really cool too. To me, they almost had everything right in this one. There was interesting upgrades where it wasn't just put a chevron on and it does the same thing regardless of which unit you put it on. That's stupid. So I mean, the upgrades in this game were better. The maps were better. The balance obviously was easier because everybody has the same troops, basically. So I don't hold that against Rome 2 and Attila. That is more difficult. But at the same time, I think just this game had the right idea, and I can't for the life of me figure out why CA is running away from multiplayer like at full speed, and then just putting Total War Arena out there saying that it's going to solve that problem. Now, I say they're running away from it. Obviously, there's still going to be multiplayer. There's been multiplayer in Rome 2. There's been multiplayer in Attila. And there's been multiplayer. There will be multiplayer in Warhammer. But it doesn't seem like they're expanding it. We'll see what happens in Warhammer. But if they don't expand it there, then it seems like that decision's been made. You know, we're not going to do anything like Shogun 2. At least not yet. To me, it seems like Empire, Napoleon, Shogun 2 all had very addictive multiplayer. Rome 2 was mainly addictive to me in the end. Obviously, it was really bad at first, but then Attila multiplayer has just fallen flat on its face. And it's kind of sad, really, because all these games just had multiplayer that was very, very fun to watch and also very fun to play. And it's kind of sad to see that somehow has been lost. Anyway, let's take a look at the unit statistics. If you look here, my Yari Cav got great kills from all the rear charging. This Katana Samurai, man, they tore it up. They still had 50 men left and had 181 kills. They did great. Mass murderers, indeed. These Nodachi Samurai did good. Spears of Shizukatake, in the end, got 95 kills, which is not great for a unit like that. Warrior Monks got 93 kills with just a couple of volleys, so not bad there. Cappy's Capital Punishment. Oh, man. Anyway, let's see. So this is going to be my teammate's kills. He got a lot of kills from his infantry, it looks like. So not bad. Let's take a look at our enemies' kills there. So his bodyguard actually got 59 kills. It's not too shabby. Let's see. Matchlock Warrior Monk that shot all my attendants got the most kills for him. Otherwise, his units didn't fare well against mine. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed it. HeirofCarthage signing off for now.